Hey everybody, I am here today with Terraforming Mars Ares Expedition. I just got my copy last night, got dropped off. I'm super excited to open it up. I haven't opened it up yet though because I wanted to share that with everybody. I just took the plastic off because that's annoying to hear and see. So let's get right into it and check out Terraforming Mars Ares Expedition by Stronghold Games. First of all, this is a beautiful box, a little bit different than the retail one that you can find at Target and so forth. It's got the glossy on it. Not a big deal to a lot of people, but I was surprised by how heavy the box is. I guess I shouldn't have been since I've seen some pictures, but it seems to be very full of stuff. The artwork's great though. I again, I'm not going to complain having to wait a little bit longer to get this nice box, and like the whole thing about like the company is under no obligation. Okay, so let's just get right down into it. But this is a game by Jacob Frixelius, Nick Little, and Sydney Engelstein, published by Frix Games and Stronghold, of course. Keep that there. Actually, I might have to move it out of the way in a minute, but for now, there it is. We'll keep it there for now. But this has that nice linen finish on the, yeah, that's really nice. On the rule book. We're just going to go through the components first, and then maybe I'll set it up, and then maybe even play a solo game. We'll just see how this goes. But nice bright colors. I honestly hadn't looked up anything because I was trying to avoid all the people that were complaining, and I wanted to just see what this was like. I don't think a company is under any obligation to tell us what their other plans are so that they can stay afloat and help pay their employees. That's my personal opinion, obviously. I don't feel like there's any dishonesty there, but anyway. Looks like it's fairly simple. Nice bright numbers for the numbers for explaining things. Playing project cards, construction phase, production phase. All 9 ocean tiles have been flipped. Blue side up is into the game. Temperatures at +8 degrees Celsius, and oxygen is at 14%. So capabilities, co-op mode, and solo rules. The goal of the solo game is to fully terraform Mars before time runs out. All the rules of the game are aim with the following exceptions. Set aside an additional set of 5 face cards as a dummy hand. Shuffle that set of cards face down. Place a player cube of color you're not using on the one of the terraforming track, and choose a difficulty level novice, advanced, expert. We'll come back to that. Okay, let's go ahead and take things out, and then maybe we'll try to set up. There's a quick start guide in here. Similarities, differences to the original game, and gameplay, planning step, resolve phase. So it has a nice little quick start here. Final scoring, and even has the solo and the 2-player variant on the back there. And here are, see, this was worth waiting for. These are these dual layered things, and they are colored on the back, which is nice to see. But the dual layered versus having nothing for your components to go into is a big deal to me, especially in Terraforming Mars related games. Because I ended up getting that from my original game that didn't have that. So the fact that this has that out of the box, even though I had to wait a little bit longer, a couple weeks longer, absolutely worth it to me. I like the colors. Symbols are easy to see. The numbers are a little bit hard to see in here. But you're just going left to right, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then this number, the yellow, is a little bit hard to see in here too. So lift those up. There's the player boards. There's 4 of those. And okay, what else do we have in here? We have Central board, much smaller. Nice. It's got 3, 6, 9 hexes. Okay. And okay. And then we have, and then just so it is illustrated on the back, although it doesn't really matter because you're never gonna see it. And let's do some punching out. Good action. Oh, these are zero problems with those. And that's what they look like. Um, nice color on both sides and no problems with the gluing process. Cool. Very nice. These are like forest there. Recycle up. That goes there. And then these smaller ones. Okay. I love the original game. I think that people get intimidated because they aren't taught how to just not pay attention to cards in it. So I'm very excited to play this and try it out. I'm hoping that it takes a lot of what like Prelude did for the game and just improves it in that way. As far as a little game. And then these are the ocean tiles. So it has card and greenery, ocean, ocean and card, card and one. What is that called? Whatever the gold symbol. For an ocean, 2 greenery and ocean, 2 greenery, ocean, ocean and card, 1 greenery, 1 gold and ocean, and 2 gold, and greenery and ocean. Okay. Little cubes with some baggies. What do we got? I'm not going to take out every one. We'll just look at the reds here, but there's green, yellow, blue, and red. And let's see what we got. No problems with them. They're just little cubes. I know some people hated the original ones, but I never had them. I think I had the second or third printing of the game, so I don't think I had the very original. Okay, so this is interesting. They did these differently. Plenty of bags for everything. These are just plastic for the copper, the gold ones, and the silver ones. The copper is so smaller, of course. Silver's in the middle, and they're opaque, and the coloring goes throughout. So that's the difference. Okay, I like that better actually. I can see that. Same with the silver and gold ones. Yeah, I like that. That's cool. Those won't age in the same way that I can see how some people didn't like the originals when compared to this. I heard about this, but I don't know. So those who have taken the time to upgrade their bits, I don't know that you need to upgrade your bits now with this new one. Just have these nice opaque things. Okay, and there's a project and corporation card there. I think these are extra ones. I feel like there might be a couple extra. I don't know. I don't remember all the difference. The big thing that I was excited about and happy to hear is that these boards came with the Kickstarter version. So there we go. Some project phase incorporation thing here. There's the Noctis City Bank. Okay. fun. The artwork is greatly improved over the original game. And there's a lot of people complaint when it first came out way back in the day too, is that it looked like they had just taken like images off the internet and random places and almost clip artish. Um, so these are player reminder cards, which is great to see. There's 4 of those. Um, player 8 and game end. Resolve phases. It tells you about the phases, the player aid, and the game end. Okay. Oh, nice little trays. Nothing fancy, but nice. That have included nice little plastic trays. More baggies for everything. Card spacer. Good to see. Pick some cards up. Look at them. Okay. Nothing else in there. We're gonna put that up there for now. Let's see what cards we have. And again, the cards are nice. The cloth vinyl quality, it's good. The cut's fine. I like the improved cards here. The artwork is improved. It looks like they took the time to actually just make something that was unique to this. Oh, this is really cool. This is really cool artwork. Matter generate. This is. I don't know if it will completely replace the original game for me, but I'm really looking forward to playing it. Like this. This is nice. This is a really nice. They did it right with the artwork on this game. All right. Let's get into more cards. Sorry, I don't have my knife with me right this second. And I know that's noisy unnecessarily so probably. Okay, come on. The artwork is much improved. Underground City. Some of these look familiar, but they've changed the layout of the card to really highlight that new artwork. They have changed the way you interact with the symbols on the left, in that there's not orange or green or blue. It's just they're quicker to read and see, and they're more visually appealing, which increases the enjoyment of the game for a lot of people. I know not for everybody, but for a lot of people it will. There's that interstellar colony ship that's shown on the front of the box. Undersea vents. Oh, I like that. The Zeppelins. Cool. Convoys. Okay, so a bunch of cards there that look somewhat familiar, if not the exact same. I don't have the other game memorized. So go ahead and pull out another thing of cards here. I think that, again, the thing that is overwhelming to a lot of people about Terraforming Mars is the amount of choices with cards. But again, you don't want to select everything. You just want to kind of go for a couple things that you have options with. And then you'll really be able to do things in the game and enjoy it that way. So, sorry, I'm just checking the chat, and I switched where my one camera is. Wood burning stoves. they did a really nice job improving the artwork. I know I keep saying it, but like it's fun if you like space themed stuff. Um, and maybe there's too much space themed. I don't know, but as you can tell by my background here, I love space themed stuff. Um, this is a fun futuristic like artwork, but still realistic ish. I don't know how. I'm not good at describing it. It's realistic because it's representational. It's not abstract. Yeah. So like this, small animals cost 9. Um, okay, and it gives you an animal uh, thing here. Requires red temperature or warmer, 1 VP per 2 animals on the card. And when you gain a forest VP, add 1 animal to the card. Oh, that's cool. Yeah. And again, I don't have the cards from the original memorized, so there might be same or very similar cards. Solar Punk. It's just nice, approachable artwork. Here's a conserved biome. If they had done this with the original game, it would have sold even better. I can only imagine because it is a great game. But now I'm wondering how much this one will supplant the original. I don't plan on getting rid of the original, especially because I just I'm waiting on my tiles to get here. But um, anyway, I love the original game. There's another, and then one more stack of cards. Then we'll do a little setup here, and maybe even play a round or two of the solo game. We'll just see how it goes. I'm thoroughly impressed with the upgraded quality, and maybe that's the difference between when it came out and when we're looking at this now. So, development, construction, action, production, research, and so you have probably four sets of these one for each player. Okay, take a look at those. Yep. So these must be the corporations. Yeah. Okay, that has a different back on it. And I think there were some corporations down here too. Okay, so we have basically we had some additional cards down here. I wonder if, again, I'll have to look up if these are the Kickstarter exclusive, but there are these cards down here that included some additional corporations. So the corporations are just cards like this. Global Blog, United Nations Mars Initiative, Tharsis Republic. Okay, yep. So all those corporations, and then of course more cards. I'm not going to go through all the artwork here, but economic growth, great escarpment. I'm just looking for anything that strikes me. That's a cool, like robotic tractor there. It's fun. Space heaters, sponsors. I remember that card. Water import from Europa. That's some cool artwork. That's fun. Okay. And tropical Lagrange Observatory, giant asteroid. I love the giant asteroid. If you go the heat route of winning the game, we played a really fun game of that one time with Alex, and he just bombarded the planet, rose the temperature, and did things that got him things because of his corporation. Um, Fun ocean artwork. Crater. Rad radiation suits. Deep well. Like this is what should have originally been going on with this game. Uh, it's really nice artwork. Okay, so now we're going to try to set up. Let's set some cards aside. Let's see what we do here for setup. Okay, so we'll set up, talk about it. But my feeling is this is great. I'm happy. I was happy to wait. Okay, so we have the game board, project cards, corporation cards, like I said, the resource cubes, forest VP tokens, and so there's 1s and 5s, player cubes. Where are my clear cubes at? Oxygen. Where are my oxygen cubes? 2 clear cubes. So, did I drop them? I don't see my clear cubes for oxygen. Huh. Well, no, nothing there. 2 clear cubes for oxygen. I mean, it's not like I couldn't find some clear cubes somewhere if I needed to, but that's just odd. 2 clear cubes for oxygen. Let's get everything out here. Maybe I just missed it. No. 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 Okay, this is strange. Oh, they're there. They're with the gold. Okay, so there are 2 clear cubes. So if you're looking for your clear cubes for the oxygen, they're in with the gold cubes. Okay, good to know. And maybe that'll help somebody else out later on when they're setting up the game. Okay, so we have the phase cards, is what these are called, and they come in 4 different colors. We'll go ahead and just separate those out real quick. So we have red. I have some baggies, so I'll probably separate this out for players so it's ready to go. But red, green, blue, and yellow, just like with the cubes. And I won't take those out of the baggies. I'm gonna take the blue because that's closest, close enough for me for purple. I guess red is technically just as close. That. Okay. And the 5 phase tracking tokens. Okay, so we'll go ahead and get started setting up the game. The board has 4 sections, it says. The terraforming track. That's around here. We have the temperature track, which is this. Just this part. Oxygen track, which is just this part. And the phase tokens are going to go over here. Okay, and oceans are the 9 out here, where these are going to go. So right now, I have a feeling we're going to flip those over and just put them out randomly, but we'll read the rules to see what it says. Setup. So, it talks about card anatomy first. That's interesting, but I don't think I'm going to go into all that right this second. It says project cards are the backbone. I guess if you don't know, I'll go over it. Project cards are the backbone to building a powerful corporation in order to win the game. It is important to note that anytime you discard a project card in your hand, you may do this for 3 MC. Project cards have the following pieces of information on them. The name. Okay, so let's take one here. So we have the name, the cost. This is how much MC you must, Mars credits, I think that's what it is, spend in order to play the card. Some cards have additional requirements in order to play them. This is shown in brief here and in more detail in the ability section of the card. So that would be if there was a symbol up here. Let's find one. Find one that has that. Show you. Maybe. Okay, so this is like that one card I pulled out earlier. So this one has an additional requirement here, and then it talks about what that requirement is down here. So it says requires red oxygen or higher. That's what this symbol up here means. This red and white symbol here. So we have the name, the cost, additional requirements, and tags, which is number. You could have 1 to 3 tags here, and cards can have up with those 3. They have no inherent value but are referenced in the ability section of many cards. So they add to things you might be counting in the game if you're not familiar with the game. And there are 3 colors of cards: blue, which are active; green, which are automated; and red, event cards. So blue, red, and green. This would be an active card. Green is automated. And then red are events that are going to happen in the game. If there is a purple area down at the bottom, then that's going to be on a blue card like this one. So this has a purple area down here. Shows icons represent an effect which triggers when criteria are met. So as soon as the criteria are met, when the card is played, you resolve the effect multiple times if it happens multiple. So when you play a animal, a microbe, or a plant, including these, gain 1 plant. So these are viral enhancers. Gain 1 plant or add 1 animal or microbe to another card. So that's kind of cool. Basically, they chain into each other. Production are orange, like this one. These are only going to be on green cards and show icons of what this card produces during the production phase. So this produces heat. The 3 squiggly lines. Thermal energy, whatever they call it here. Capability, which is gray. Let's find a gray card. So here's a gray card down here in the left-hand corner. And with gray, you get it has steel or titanium. That's what I couldn't remember the name of it. Steel or titanium. So that's what gray is. The capability, and then action is blue. Let's find a blue one. Here's a blue one. These are only going to be on blue cards, and they represent actions which happen during the action phase. Okay, so spin 12 MC to flip an ocean tile. Reduce this by 1 MC per titanium you have. So that would work well with the other one that had the star, which is titanium. Okay. And then active phases. The section only appears on green and blue cards. Let's see. Green and blue cards. I think 10. Oh, so it has a little number here above this box. You can't really see it right now, but there's a little number above this orange box. So it's only going to be on green and blue cards. It tells you what phase that that thing is active. That's when it can be used. And then ability, the section lists any requirements needed to play the card. That's a check mark, and it will be right in here. Let's see if one of these has a check mark. These are all lightnings. I don't see any check marks. Okay, here's one. Requires purple temperature. Okay, so that's a That's the same as this up here. So whatever this is up here, that's going to be what it's talking about down here. So getting it going that way. And then victory points are down over this way usually. They look like playing on Mars. Like this is a variable number. It has an asterisk. So it says 1 VP per 3 blue cards you have in play. That can be pretty powerful. Others are just going to straight up have victory points on them. Like this one just has 1 victory point right there. Okay. So those are the anatomy of the cards. And then we have player boards. So let's take a player board. We're just following the instructions here, so you know what the instructions say. I don't know if this is the way I will always set up, but why not? Okay, so we have a player board. I'm going to clear this out a little bit and move the board down, and we'll just do it like this. We'll put my player board right here. I know that's a little bit confusing, but we're going to put it right there. We get corporation cards. So I put that on top of it. The good thing is the backs are different. So these are all project cards. And here's some corporations. Nope, that's not corporation. Where's my, oh. These are project cards. Oh, here the corporations. Good afternoon. Looking forward to seeing the difference between this and the polka. Yeah, so right now I'm just setting up. Feel free to ask questions. I had not looked at it all before opening it up. Yeah. Did you back the Kickstarter, or are you just gonna see what the retail copy is like? I couldn't stand the original boards. I ended up upgrading my boards because I couldn't stand them. So this one, part of the reason I went with the Kickstarter, and I didn't mind at all that it took longer, was the dual layer board. So I'm pulling out. I mean, the thing that has impressed me so far is how much better quality all the artwork is in this. Like, I was showing off a bunch of the cards earlier. It's a lot more aesthetically enjoyable too. It just looks way better on the cards. I know that doesn't matter to everybody, but it matters to me some. I didn't back this one. I would have. Yeah, so they were saying it's the only way to get it, but Stronghold, like other companies, sometimes later produces it if there's enough. Um, yeah, hard to look worse. Exactly. The original was so bad. Um, but like this isn't just one step up from the original. This is, so here's the backs of the cards, the project cards now. And they're now actually like the vinyl cloth cards, not the cheap paper ones that originally came with it. And then I don't know, the artwork is just steps above, several steps above. It's much nicer, much more enjoyable, and the layout of the card is better. Um, yeah, it's way better. So I'm just gonna take a random corporation. I'm not even gonna look. So they have a name on them, a tag, logo, starting resources, and effects. So the phase cards. So each player gets phase cards too. So I'll take a thing of phase cards and just take a random corporation. Yeah, they just everything better art, better graphic design. It's nice. I don't know, some of that is improvements to them as a company too, but some of it is they just took the care and time now. So there's phase cards. If you didn't see those earlier, that have development, construction, action, production, and research on them. All that, and the random corporation I got was Helion, Um, okay. Player board keeps track of your current resources in production, and resource cubes are placed in their respective boxes, and player markers are used on the phases. Brief description of the phases. Where does it say that at? Oh, so 1 is play green, 2 is play blue or red, 3 is actions, 4 is produce, and 5 is draw, and that's up here at the top of the player boards. So the player boards are laid out quite differently too. The table presence is different. Will definitely be different. So, okay. My blue cubes. When you gain production of a resource, move the corresponding cube on its track. Okay. Add a second cube to the right column if needed. Right. There are 4 types of production: MC, card, heat, and plant. MC card. What is card? B. Card. Okay. Card is here. Card, heat production, and plant. Okay. So whenever you gain MC, heat, or plants, place the copper, silver, and gold cubes in the section corresponding to the resource gained. Copper cubes are worth 1, silver 5, and gold 10. Okay. So this time, when you produce these, you put it over here instead of just moving around to keep track of, which some people didn't like before. Okay. So what is my starting stuff? You start with 3 heat production and 28 MC. So 3 heat production. It's not 3. I did say earlier it is kind of hard to see. They do go left to right, 0 through 4, 5 through 9, but it is kind of hard to see the numbers on these. I wish they had printed a darker black maybe on the backgrounds of these here. Aesthetically, it's more appealing, but as far as seeing it quickly, it's not easy to see quickly where your numbers are at. So I have 28 MC to start with. I'm going to set up. I'm not sure if I'm going to play or not, but I'm going to set up 28 MC. So 20. And 5. And 8. 28. Okay. That's my starting stuff for my Helion Corporation. And I can use heat as MC. You might not use MC. Oh, this is the corporation that when Alex played, and he just kept bombarding the planet and raising the heat, and then he got other things that gave him heat, and then he got that to just buy victory points straight up, and he like ran away with the victory. Because we didn't have much of a way to stop him, because like every time we were playing the draft variant, and every time we played the draft variant, and we drafted, he would just get cards that he could buy straight up from his heat, and I love drafting though. Okay, 4 different kinds of resources. The mega, that's what the MC stands for. Mega credits, heat, plants, and then special resources like animals, microbes, and science. The forest as VP tokens. Phase. I agree. I don't think I'd play this one without the draft variant. I don't know if it has a draft variant in this one. I haven't gotten that far in the. That's a good question. Gameplay. Place this card. The cards determine which. So you're gonna. Oh, more like Race for the Galaxy. You're gonna have a thing where you choose. Base game. Yeah, no, I always play draft with the base game. This one, you have like a race for the galaxy type thing going on. So we'll come back to that. Um, that's interesting. That's cool. Uh, that I mean, it makes it such a good game to draft that way, and then just to pick cards and not overthink it, and that way it keeps the game moving. If you can encourage people not to overthink the cards that they're getting, and just work on something. Um, yeah, phase track tokens and the ocean tiles. Okay, let's just go ahead. And, I'm not going to keep reading everything. Um, set the game board in the middle of the table. So the game board's pretty small. I mean, that's my hand. That's the game board. But that makes sense. Phase tracking tokens next to the game board. Okay. With the closed door side up. Closed. Okay. So they should be like this. I have to make just a little bit more room. Run out of room because I didn't know how much room this would take up. I love race, so that's why I was interested. Yeah. Like I said, I've kind of avoided looking up stuff about this because I love the original game and I don't want other people's opinions to sway me on what I thought about this. Um, so you put these here, and these are your phase tracking tokens, and you put them with this side up, and then set all the force VP and the copper, silver, and gold. So you have your resources where you can grab them, copper and silver and gold and forest stuff closed. Place the two clear on -30 Celsius, and by the way, if you get this and you can't find your clear tokens right away, if you didn't hear me before, they're in with your gold because they're the same size as the gold, but they're hard to see. It took me a minute to find them. Uh, so we go on -30. Uh, Man, that is hard to read a little bit too. So these numbers are a little bit hard to read too on the board. The temperature and the oxygen. So we're at 0% oxygen and 0% and -30 degrees Celsius. So they go down here is where these two clear cubes go. And then I've got a player board and my 13 cubes in my player color. Uh, Zero space of the 6 production tracks unless your corporation says uh, otherwise, and 5 on the terraforming track on the game board. So we're down here, and 0, 0. Already did that one because of my corporation. 0, and shuffle blue ocean tiles. Yep. So yep, and just place them out on the 9. Okay. So there's no rhyme or reason to this. It should be random. And this little central board is really cute for for a card game. Um, I'm really curious how long this will play once I get to know the game. Instead of in your first game, instead of performing steps, find the 16 green project cards that have a star next to the card number, shuffle them, and deal each player 4 of those cards. Or nah, I'm not going to do that. Shuffle all the project cards together face down. Form the project card deck. Deal each player 8 project cards. You will keep all of them. Split the deck into 2 piles so that players can reach them. Okay, so there's 208, I think, project cards. So if you have a good way to shuffle these, there's that. I'm not even going to worry about it. I know it's not going to be. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to set them a couple times and then player count and estimated time on it. Good question. 1 to 4. Recommended age 14 plus. Plays in around an hour. That's what it says. So I'm just going to cut a couple times, make 2 piles, and then draw 4 from each. I don't feel like shuffling this many cards, and I don't have a card shuffler. So, um, yep, 14 plus, 1 to 4 players, plays around 60 minutes. So that's what it says. I forget what the original one says it plays, and draw 4 from there and 4 from there. Okay. There's my 8 cards. Set those aside. Instead of performing step 8 in your first game, you can deal each player one of the corporation cards with the star next to. I skipped that. I just went with the corporation. I played the original Terraforming Mars, so that's not confusing to me. The advanced rule is once you've been dealt your corporations, but before you've chosen one, you may discard any number of project cards and draw that same amount. Okay. So I was supposed to get 2 corporation cards instead of 1 and then pick one. And before I pick one, then I could have. Yeah. I haven't played it for a year and a half since before I moved, but I do enjoy original Terraforming Mars solo. I played the app more recently, just because, like we were talking about last night, ease of setup. Um, but I really do like the original game solo. But my favorite way to play the original game is drafting with other people and just seeing what you get. Because I think even if you try to hate draft, there's enough options in the game that you can do other things and it's fun. Each player receives any starting resources from their corporation. I already did that. And give each player a set of 5 phase cards corresponding to their player color and then start the game. That is the last part of the setup is number 11, start the game. It's like when they also put number 1, set the game board in the middle of the table. What if I don't want it in the middle of the table? What if I want it off to the side? Because we're on a semicircle moon table. I don't know. Yeah, I know, right? Because they got to tell you where to put it and when to start the game. It's just funny. It's funny. I wonder who wrote the instructions if they given credit for it. Anna Russell. Anna Russell was the editor, so probably Anna Russell. Yep. Okay. Will Sobel was the development consultant on the game. All right. Okay. So gameplay goes like this. I don't know if I'm actually going to play, but we'll check it out and then know what to do. The game is played over the course of several rounds. Each round is divided into 3 steps: planning step, resolve phases step, and the end step. In each step, players play simultaneously. Not all phases will happen every round. So the planning step, you're going to take these. So they have the same back. That's interesting. I guess they didn't want to go with the third back. No, they have a different back. This has the astronauts. So astronauts on the back, and then these are corporations, and then these are project cards. Okay, so there are 3 different backs. Okay, cool. So a corporation card. But you're going to take your phase cards. So each player simultaneously chooses a face card from there and places it face down. And in the second round, players will place this card at a 90-degree angle on top of the last phase card they chose, and players are not allowed to pick the same phase 2 rounds in a row. After revealing the played phase cards, they can return the card they chose previously to their hand. And then simultaneous reveal, and then resolve the phase steps. During this step, players resolve the phases that were chosen during the planning step. The chosen phases are always resolved in the following order. So now I'm going to jump back to the solo rules just to kind of pretend to play, even though I'm not going to completely play. Yeah, that's what I thought. So you just take an additional phase deck and shuffle it and place a player cube of a color you're not using on the TR track. Okay. You play the top card of the dummy hand face up, It's also played this round without the bonus. Yep. Okay. So there's dummy hand doing that, but it's also probably going to score. Oh, there's a co-op mode too. Oh, yes, 2-player co-op. Yeah, I read that before and it didn't process. So you're working together to terraform Mars before the time runs out. It says after you finish setting up the game, in the upper right-hand corner section of the game board, place 27 copper cubes and 3 cubes of a player color you're not using. After players reveal their phase cards, each player takes a cube from the pile on the game board. If you take a copper cube, add it to your mega credits. If you take one of the player color cubes, discard the cube, and you may trade one project card. So it's a timer to see if if you have a total score of at least 80 VP. Otherwise, you lose. That's what the co-op is. That sounds kind of weak. That's kind of like the, well, how could we throw in a co-op mode? But I don't know. Maybe not. I guess it's a challenge. Maybe if you have a partner that really doesn't like aggressive stuff and wants to work together, it can feel interesting. But I don't know. Maybe. So solo mode, you play this. When all of them have played, shuffle them face down to reform the dummy hand. Each time we reshuffle it, advance the dummy player cube to the next space on the terraforming track. Once it reaches 5, play 5 final rounds. You're allowed to pick the order in which the dummy hand plays face cards and the 5 final rounds. After all these face cards from hand have been played, so that's 20. So you're playing 25 rounds. That doesn't sound especially. Yeah, I agree. It doesn't. All the face cards from hand have been played. So it says solo mode is not easy to win if you aren't experienced with the game and its strategies. So novice, increased oxygen or temperature 2 steps after advancing the dummy player's cube. Advanced, increased oxygen or temperature 1 step after advancing the dummy player's cube. In expert mode, no bonus is given. So basically it's just a built-in timer. Score your VP, attempting to achieve as high a score as possible. So you're playing against yourself in the solo mode. So I'm probably not gonna play right now. I will play later, but that would be boring to watch because I have nothing to compare it to. If I get to the point soon where I have 5 or 6 games in and then I write those out, then that might be something. But I'm not gonna do it right now. Okay, we'll finish going through what the gameplay is though, and then yeah. So I would pick a card, put it face down. The next round it gets turned, so I can't use it when I pick a card, and then I can pick that one back up, and so forth. And then with the resolution, each player resolves when the chosen phase is, and they can resolve it simultaneously, and then they move on. And so, like race, everybody gets the ability, and then the bonus is you get to do something else down here. So they all have a different bonus that's good, and they go in order. If players choose the same phase, the phase is resolved only once. And if it's not chosen, each player skips that phase this round. When you choose a phase, you receive the specific bonus in that phase that is listed at the bottom. So even if 2 of us choose 3, we only do phase 3 once, but if you chose it, you do get your bonus. Okay. So during development, each player may play. Okay, so it's going to go through each of these. Basically, you get to play a green project card from their hand. I'm not going to do all the bonuses right now. Construction. Each player may play 1 blue or 1 red, and that's all green. So if you're not colorblind, you can see what you're going to do each time. That's cool. And then, so green, red, or blue project cards. Action phase, each player may resolve the action ability on each of their cards in play. So this is action cards in play. Um, Standard actions, and players may use the standard actions printed on their player boards. Those actions are spend 8 plants to gain a force VP and raise the oxygen, spend 20 MC to gain a force VP and raise the oxygen, spend 8 heat to raise the temperature 1 step, spend 14 MC to raise the temperature 1 step, spend 15 MC to flip one of the ocean tiles. So a little bit different, but very similar. And is that shown? Yep. So that's shown all here at the bottom of the player boards as a reminder too. If anybody, and then production phase here collects resources equal to the production, and you get a bonus of. I haven't been saying the bonuses, but you get a bonus of 4 MCU if you choose the production phase. So, and then research down here at the bottom. Draw 2 cards, keep one, and discard the other if you choose this. Okay. All right. So there's bonuses too, but that's the basics of it. I like it. I like it. It's very straightforward. And then there's an end step to all that. During this step, each player discards down to 10 cards in hand. For each card discarded this way, you will get 3 MC. So you're not having to pay for the cards the same way. That's cool. And then the game is triggered when all 3 of the following are true. 9 ocean tiles have been flipped. The temperature is at 8 degrees Celsius, and oxygen is at 14%. So final scoring, 1 VP per terraform rating. VP equal to their force VP tokens that they've received, and VP equal to what is printed on project cards played. That is a lot faster and a lot easier to teach. I'm looking forward to it. Like I said, I'm not going to play the solo right now because there's nothing to compare it to, and that'd be kind of boring. But love the artwork. The quality is great. The boards have a nice feel to them. I like the switch to the opaque versus the translucent painted cubes for the gold, silver, and 2-player competitive. Yep, I can see that. I also think this would be one that I might take with me when I bring Aquatica and Everdell and Wingspan and stuff like that. It's very similar weight is what it feels like, and a lot easier to teach. It doesn't feel as overwhelming. That's just my initial thought. The fact that it comes in a smaller box, has a smaller table presence, has the icons that are a little bit easier for somebody to pick up on. I think that a lot of people like this. I can see 2 players playing this a couple times in a night. Yeah, because it's a very easy to pick up game. Yeah, cool. Yeah, so that's Terraforming Mars, Ares Expedition. I still love the original, but this has me very intrigued. I don't know. I think this one isn't going to replace the solo mode and that original for me personally. I think that there's more going on in the original. This is interesting, and I think this is good, and especially made for 2 to 4 players, and that same midweight engine building, quick to learn category for me. So, yeah, looking forward to it. I'm probably gonna head out here because I gotta figure out some things. But thanks for watching, and thanks for chatting, Clay. But happy gaming. I'll catch you later.